with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent-ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
Intelligent shit talk. I like talking shit. That shit's fun. I like making myself laugh. That's why I be talking so much shit. Really talking shit to me is making myself laugh. Welcome everyone. What's up, hot one? Yeah, Sunday service in this motherfucker. What's up, Try Hippie? What's up, you got Cherry Pie Assassin? Cherry pies are nasty as hell. We used to talk about that with my dad yesterday. He'd bring home a cherry pie that should be stuck in the freezer until either he eat it or the shit get thrown in the trash. Ain't no goddamn cherry pie. What's up, Ramon Anwar, Goldie, Anthony Thorpe? What's up, Bossa Queen? What's up, chat room? Can't get to everybody. Can't wait to get to everybody. Craig's album Chill With Us. We gonna do he gonna do a launch party, a launch release for that album on Thursday. On Thursday at 8 o'clock. I'm not 8 o'clock. 4 o'clock our normal time. Sound like I said at the end of the day. Yeah, you know that's a bullshit ass cliche. I had a good day yesterday. That shit was fun. Yesterday was fun. Celebrated my sister's birthday. Everybody was in the house. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, all three of my nieces, my brother-in-law, my wife. Man, that shit was fun. Anytime me and my sister are around each other, it's nothing but laughs and jokes. My brother's there. Shit, we don't do nothing but laugh. Everything's a joke for us. Our whole life. Yeah. What up, y'all? Otaku Jew, Bug Shelton. What's up? Peace, man. Jay Smooth. Doc Wilson on the New Jersey. Check in. What up, Old Head Deuce? Yeah, we're gonna talk about these cliches today, man. Oh yeah, thanks, Jordan. You like the Q&A I had last night? Yeah, a lot of people said they liked it. I was just in my garage getting high. I was in my garage getting high. And I was like, let me just go live real quick. I bought this mic to go in my phone and my iPad. That sounds really good. I'll tell you right now, when y'all be donating to the Cash App, I keep it in the Cash App and I'll be buying all kinds of gadgets and shit to improve this show. About to start advertising on other stations. I'm about to start putting some ads behind this show to grow it more on other stations. So that's what I'll be using it for when y'all donate to the Cash App. That's why I really appreciate that. I use it to either grow the show or turn around and donate it right back to Claude Anderson, to different people online that influence me. Yeah, keep it. Money's a current. Keep circulating it. Keep circulating it amongst ourselves. Keep circulating it. Yeah, Rob, I did get back on. I got back on and I stayed on for like another hour. I did notice it was a big drop off because when I was on the first time, it was like 100 some odd people in there. When I came back, it never crossed 50. So I figured YouTube didn't send notifications out letting people know I was back on live. But that Q&A was dope. Y'all had some dope. I didn't even get to all y'all questions because the minute somebody was asked a good question, I go off on a tangent. I didn't get to answer everybody's questions, but yeah. I'm just gonna do random pop-ins like that then on the live. Random Q&As. I'm not gonna announce them. It's just gonna be some shit that I go live in my garage, aka my man cave, and do shit like that. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, because that ties into the cliche, man. Sloganism and slogans. Like, man, cliches and slogans, cats, we as black folks need to get off that shit. And I know other people do it too, but I'm not worried about them. We do a lot of dope shit that other people can't imitate. They try to though. So we need to be the leaders of ourselves. So I always know that when I'm speaking to black people, I'm speaking from the context of someone who knows our issues are not particular to us. Everybody in America got issues. You know what I mean? You want to talk about, like here in LA, the Mexicans, they big old issue. The Mexicans hate the Guatemalans. They hate the El Salvadorians. They hate all the different Latin countries don't like each other. And in California, you have your Serranos and your Norteños, and basically your Northerners and your Southerners, and they wear different colors. The ones from Northern California, they wear red. The ones from Southern California wear blue, like Dodger blue. And if a Norteño or a Serrano come across each other, that shit be turning deadly. Like I was talking to the homie Cisco, and he was telling me how he had his Dodger hat on up in San Francisco, and the Norteños happen to be having a party down the street, like a block party or some shit like that. And then people in the bar was telling him, man, you better take that hat off or they're going to beat your ass. It's shit's real. Asians don't get along with Japanese out here. I mean, nigga, I made that D.L. Hewley mistake. Remember D.L. Hewley told me China's not in Asia? Dumb nigga. I made that same mistake. But the Japanese don't necessarily get along with the Chinese. The Japanese and the Chinese hate each other. They don't fuck with each other. The Koreans don't necessarily get along with the Indians. So I always want to say, like, that leads me into my first cliche. When black people be like, we the only ones that. You ever hear niggas say that shit? Man, why black people the only ones that don't get along? Nigga, if you would leave, nigga, the projects for 2 seconds and open your fucking eyes, you see nobody gets along. This is a very violent, contentious planet we live on. We the only ones that don't get along. Black folks, man, don't nobody hate on a black person like other black people. Don't no other race hate on their own like black people. Get that dumbass cliche out of here. Let me tell you something. I'm so glad cultural anthropology was a major part of my major in college of communication studies. Because in cultural anthropology, we really got to, not so much, what I learned most from that class was how to study people. Like, it wasn't so much the grade. I don't even remember what grade I got in that class. The grade is irrelevant. The thing that I took most from that is the scope in which how to study various cultures and how to remove my cultural imprint on my observation of other people's other groups. So cultural anthropology, even though it was a small part of my studies in school, it's been a major part of my personal studies. I've always liked just studying what I see. Like, I'm a very observant person. I'm weird, nigga. I used to go to the club. I told y'all, anybody was on my live last night, I used to be in the clubs throughout my 20s. Shit, 29 out of 30 nights a month. Hollywood's my oyster. Man, like, I get in anywhere I wanted to go for the most part. But when I would go to the clubs, most of the time I would just sit back at the table, at the promoter's table, smoke a joint and just watch people. I wasn't the one to really get out there, and niggas in LA, especially my age group, niggas didn't dance, niggas do all that. That's the 90s doing all that MC Hammer shit. I, for the most part, would just sit back in a club and just watch people work, just watch people be people. And you see that when it comes to humans all, for the most part, do the same thing. They just do things a little different. How it plays out may look different, but the dynamics are the same. And in America, we're so segregated. We only see, especially black people, we only see other groups when we're doing business with them. We really don't. Oh, what up, Black Rosebud Live? That's my nigga right there. Black Rosebud, I'm proud of that motherfucker right there, the way he done blown up. This nigga used to be running all through the hood, doing his shows. No matter what the outcome was, the nigga keep doing his shows. And now that nigga done blew the fuck up on YouTube, man. I'm proud of that motherfucker, Black Rosebud. Whether I agree with some of his stances or not, that is irrelevant. I know a dope motherfucker when I see it. I don't have to always agree with somebody's point of view to be a fan of them and to like what they do. Salute to Black Rosebud in the chat room. But when it comes to stuff like that, we don't really like understand how other cultures get down. We all get down the same way. The shit just looks different. I not only from being in the club, also when times got tough on me, when the mortgage market, for sure, Black, when times got tough on me in the mortgage market, I went 13 months without one single paycheck because the mortgage market had crashed. So I was working in the day doing loans, commission only, but not getting no commission. So at night, I had to do security guard for like 2 years. I would work in the day and do security. Thank God I had good relationships already at the club. But it does check your ego from being the person walking past everybody in line to get in the club to being the nigga holding the ropes. That's an ego check like a motherfucker. You think you own... Nigga get too proud. You know, that's what happened to me. I got a little bit too proud. Rolling this dope ass car and shit fell through. I got humbled real quick and had to work security guard at the same nightclubs I was turning my nose up walking past niggas in just 2 years prior. Taught me to always be real no matter what happens to you in life. Be real with yourself. Don't ever get too ahead of yourself. I'm glad I learned that lesson in my 20s. But when I would do security, I'm not just on Black night. I'm there for Asian night. I'm there for Armenian night. I'm there for white night. And I'm seeing like, man, everybody do the same shit. The stuff that look, I'm not talking as the fucking oracle here. I'm talking as the nigga who used to be the main one saying, niggas don't get along. I can't trust. Niggas just need to come together. That used to be me, nigga. I'm not speaking as if I was always this way. I had to grow into who I am right now. Life experiences had to put me to where I am right now. I ain't speaking as some old oracle nigga who knows it all. No, I'm a nigga that had to go through some bullshit to figure it out. I just have a decent ability to communicate this, my journey. But nigga, I am by no way nobody's overseer on this subject. I'm just seeing shit that we do that don't work and how we can change it and make it into something that does work. Because as long as we do cliches, that shit's not gonna work. Actionable plans, things to do, how to solve it, that works. You know, I'm all about solutions here. So I used to be that person, and then I used to be the one, man, black folk. Look, let me tell y'all something. When I used to work the nightclubs in Hollywood, let me give you a breakdown of how Hollywood nightlife works. It's very segregated. Hollywood nightlife, LA nightlife is very segregated. It'll be the same club, but on Thursday night, you got black night. On Friday night, you got white night. On Saturday night, you got Asian night. On Sunday night, you got Russian night. And that's how the clubs will work. So, and I worked at like 4 or 5 different clubs. And this is how Black Night went down. Black Night, they would always, another cliche black people will say is, black folks don't tip. Shit. I made the most money on Black Night. Because one thing about Black Night, niggas love stunting. And as a security guard, I could always take advantage of that stunting. Because I worked the VIP ropes. So if you didn't have a wristband, you had to slide $20 on a slow night, $50 on an okay night, and $100 on a hot night to me to get past his VIP rope. Black folks, niggas may not have had no money on Monday, but that Friday night they had money to pay me, and I would make on a low end $200, but I would make $200 to $500 a night getting black people past the VIP ropes. You know, the clubs out here in LA for the most part are promoted the cats from the 60s through the best parties. A lot of your former gang people were the ones that were the hottest promoters in Hollywood. And I would see on Black Night, black people had money. The bottle service was always sold out. One club I worked at, the cheapest table was $2,500, and the most expensive table was $12,000. And that table that was $12,000, that shit was sold out every Thursday. Club Element, for those who know LA from around that time. I remember, so black people spent a lot of money, and on top of that, the reason why I work so many black nights, because the cliche they would say is, you know, they would call it urban night. You know, that was quote unquote the most dangerous night. So they always had a full security staff. So it would be easy to work black night because on one hand, the white folks didn't want to work urban night because there was too many black people. And two, they needed more security. Well, they didn't need more security. They charged the promoters for maximum security because it was black night. And I would see on Black Night, we had the least amount of fights. Of all the different racial categories, Black Night in the club was very, 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 very rarely a fight. Now, after the club is over, that's when shit will pop. When the night's over in the parking lot on the streets, that's when you had to worry about black folks. But one thing I realized was black folks wasn't about to spend $20 to get in, another $200 on drinks, or if they bought a table, they dropped 5 racks to trip in the club. Once that money spent, night's over, it might be some shit that go out on the street in front of the club, especially if the club next door got a different set that's there that night. Nah, Rob McCoy, 12 grand for a table in LA, that's, you know, because even people who bought the $5,000 table, they oftentimes spent more than 12 grand. Hollywood, what up, Staggers Music? You right, Dwayne Isaac. After the club is when black folks be popping. Now, when I worked The people who fought the most I had to work was usually Asian night. When I say Asian, I mean Chinese, Japanese. They fought the most. I will break up on Asian night on a minimum 10 fights, but usually 10 to 15 fights a night is what we were breaking up on Asian night. See, the thing with Asian night is, black folks, the club started getting crowded at about 11:30. Asian night, they're there when the doors open. The doors open on Asian night at, usually club opens at 10. On Asian night, the doors open at 9:30 because there'll be a line wrapped around the corner at 9. They get to the club on time. But they ain't got no fucking tolerance for liquor. So by 11 o'clock, you picking these little motherfuckers up and tossing them outside because they too drunk. And on Asian night, these motherfuckers will be, by the time between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., it'll be 15 to 20 fights. The reason why the fights will start like slowing down at about 1 because most of them be so goddamn drunk. Asian night, the club starts slowing down at about 1 o'clock, and by 1:30, it's almost empty. So their nights are more front loaded, but they get to drinking and smoking all them cigarettes. They're done by 1. The second most amount of fights will be like Middle Eastern night. Middle Eastern night, these motherfuckers, they play hip hop, but they'd have some motherfucker on stage playing the Congo drums over the music. And then the niggas will go from 50 Cent to some music. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Nigga, did we just go from mac and cheese and greens to noodles, nigga? And these motherfuckers will start fighting. I remember one night I worked a Halloween. I worked a Halloween at the club Facade. It was called the Ivar or Facade, depending on where you went. This Armenian dude pulled out a shotgun, because mind you, they only pat down on Black Night. Remember this, people, if you ever go to Hollywood, they only do pat downs on Black Night. All the other races, maybe Mexican night be 50-50. But the only night you can guarantee a pat down is the night that they plan on black folks coming. So the Armenian night would never get pat down. This Armenian dude had on like these scrubs. That was his outfit for Halloween. He was in nurse scrubs. He waited for this one to come out. This motherfucker pulled a shotgun out, had a gold plate on the butt of the shotgun, and hit this motherfucker in the forehead with the butt of that shotgun and started beating his ass. Like, Armenian night, you had to deal with shit like that. They some hothead motherfuckers. I remember sitting there working the VIP, and mind you, on Chinese night and Armenian night and white night, you can work the VIP. They didn't give a fuck about VIP. Most of the time, the VIP seats wouldn't even be sold. The club wouldn't make as much money because, first of all, Asians can't drink as heavy as we can. Second of all, they usually buy beer. We buy hard liquor. Hard liquor is a higher ticket price. So when I worked at the club, that was an experience for me. I'm bringing this as an example because it's all going to tie in. That's when I got to see that most of the cliches that I had grew up saying and repeating myself were bullshit. Because being trained as someone who knows how to observe people, I was able to see with my own eyes. I had like my own two-year-long study. Being able to see groups, you can learn a lot about groups of people when they're inebriated, when they're drunk. Because when people are drunk, that's when the truth about how they behave come out. So I was able to change my whole look on life in that time. Really, really seeing what was going on and seeing it from different cultural perspectives. I got to see Armenian night was going to be, one time I was working the VIP and some Armenian dude looked at the other dude. He was like, "You looking at my wife? My girlfriend." He said, "You looking at my girl?" And just stole on that motherfucker. Just stole on him. White night, it would be 7 to 12 fights a night. Mexican night, probably the same, 7 to 12 fights a night. But on Black Night, I remember I went a whole year without having to break up a fight during club hours on Black Night. And that was working 4 different Black Nights a week. Between all 4 clubs, I broke up like 2, maybe 3 fights the whole year. Like I said, now after the club, that's a little bit something different, but that ain't my job to deal with what goes on outside after the club. My job was what went on inside the club. Inside the club, 2 to 3 fights. And that's when my whole perspective changed on black folks. And I got to see like, damn, we not as bad as we say we are. And at the same time, these other groups ain't as good as we think they are. If you want to know something about flossing, look, niggas ain't got shit on Armenians when it comes to flossing. Because you always hear that. Black people always want to stunt on each other. All black people want to do, niggas go broke, stunting on each other. Have y'all heard that cliche? Niggas go broke because all we want to do is hate on each other and stereotype each other. I mean, not stereotype, hate on each other and stunt on each other, floss on each other. Well, let me tell you something about the Armenians here in LA. Today or yesterday was the anniversary, the 106th anniversary of the Armenian genocide. Salute to my Armenian friends. Being from LA, I know some dope ass Armenians. That's how I know these fucking stories. They'll tell me these stories. Here in LA, and plus you gotta know about that damn Armenian genocide. They shut down Wilshire every fucking year they had this shit. You know what I mean? But they can protest how they want to protest. I'm not getting involved. Even though I do know some dope ass Armenians. Shout out to my boy Arash and my Persian homeboy Amir. Shouts out to y'all. But Armenians, these motherfuckers will buy a house, or this is what they'll do. This is broken down from one of my Armenian friends, a dude named Joseph. He was like, they slowed this shit down in the last 10 years. But like pre-2010, pre-2000, like pre-Obama, they would fly over here under one name. And he said back at home, they'll trade, like, they'll be like, okay, yeah, you know, you're a mechanic or you own a body shop. He's like, the reason why so many Armenian body shops in LA is because back home, if you have a skill, like if you're a window tech worker, someone who does glass, if you're someone who does body shop or mechanic, whatever, you're first in line to come. And he said what they'll do is when you came, you'll get like $60,000 to come and open up a shop. He said, so what they'll do is they'll come and they'll do that and they'll stay for like 6 months or a year and long enough to get that money. And then once they get that money, they'll go back, change names, and come back within a year and get another 60 grand under 2 different names. He's like, and that's how they're so able to start their shops. Mind you, this is from the Armenian homie himself telling me this shit. He did it. So black people going around talking something, we run game. We don't run game on this level. Black people, we do not run game on this level. And he said they do it less now because since Obama's gotten office, they found a better way of tracking people doing this. But at the same time, they still get the money when they come over here. And he said they'll get that and then they'll get a house, but won't have no furniture in the house because it's all about the look of the house. The lawn will be manicured, but he's like, it's very rare that we go over inside. That's why we're always at bars and shit. He's like, it's very rare we go over other people's houses because like they'll like easily not have a couch, be sleeping on a mattress, but they'll have this beautiful home that looks good from the outside with a Mercedes or a Porsche or something like that. And let me tell you something. If you see an Armenian, and this ain't no racial shit, this is breaking it down, nigga. I go all through Glendale. I know how this shit go down. Any Armenian listening will tell you I'm not lying. If you see them in a high-end car, I can guarantee you it's salvaged. What they do is, because they own so many body shops and shit, they wait till somebody gets into an accident, on their Mercedes S600 that costs $110,000. It gets salvaged with body damage. They go and buy that body damaged car out of the shop, 16, 17 grand, depending on how bad it's damaged, as long as it's not a rollover. And then they'll fix those parts of it, cost another 6, 7 grand to put money into it to get it all fixed up. And for $20,000, $25,000, they now have a car that has a look of that's a $125,000 car. You thinking that's a new Mercedes? No, that motherfucker got in an accident and was salvaged. And you know it because when you get in a car, when you get in a Porsche, because I've driven, like my homie Joseph, he used to have a Lamborghini, and I used to drive his Lamborghini because it was salvaged, and that shit was fun to drive. But the whole time you drive it, wind noise, because you could never quite get that door right. But it looked good. Same thing with Asians. Peace to Delano L. Same thing with Asians. My wife used to work at a Crate and Barrel and sell furniture. And her area was Palos Verdes. Palos Verdes has been basically gentrified by the Asians. Palos Verdes used to be all white back in the 80s. That shit's mostly Asian now because the Asians got the bread. They pricing the white people out here in LA. That's something they're not telling you. The Asians in LA are pricing the white folks out, and the Asians are deciding what neighborhoods they're going to move in. And there really ain't nothing the white folks can do about it because the Asians got more bread. I'm going to do a whole nother show on that, on Asian gentrification of white neighborhoods. But the Asians run Palos Verdes. And my wife worked Crate and Barrel. She would make these house calls, and then she would go in and be like, them motherfuckers ain't had no furniture. And then she would like design a plan for them to get furniture. She's like, basically the Asians would be like, whatever they want, whatever white people are getting. Like if whatever was fashionable and popular that the white folks were getting, that's what they wanted. But they would have already, oftentimes the house that they were in, they've been in the house 4, 5, 6, 10 years and been sleeping on mattresses and feng shui pillows. Like they'll buy the house in the neighborhood, but they won't have no fucking furniture in it. Because they want that whole Americana look. So black folks, that whole cliche about we the ones that front the most, we the ones that floss the most, we do not front and floss on the level of the Asian people. We do not. We don't. I can promise you we don't. Let me tell you another fact. Thank y'all for liking and sharing this. Let me tell y'all another fact. Look it up. In California, I don't have this article in front of me because it's off the top of my head. I'm always remembering shit. In California, the city with the most debt, when they calculate debt, that's the amount of debt relative to the amount of income. So yeah, these people may have a higher income, but they also have higher debts. The city with the highest amount of debt in California is Yorba Linda, California. Yorba Linda is a suburb in Orange County that's mostly Asian. And they're not Asian, they're white. The cities with the most debt in California is Yorba Linda. And I think Laguna Beach was right behind it. So while they laugh at us being thrown in the hood, being from the hood, these motherfuckers is living on credit cards like crazy. But then you'll come back and say, and listen to black folks say dumb shit like, man, we black folks will be spending their money on. No, we are not the biggest offenders. Look here, let me tell y'all something. This is America, Jack. Y'all remember that from Coming to America, Mr. McDowell? This is America, Jack. America is a debt-ridden nation. Look at the deficit. Look at the trillions of dollars this motherfucker owed China. As above, so below. If the country's in crazy debt, wouldn't it stand to reason that the citizens are in crazy debt? Is that not reasonable to expect? That if a country's running a certain way, the people who live within that nation probably run their lives a similar way. Black people, we ain't the worst offenders when it comes to this debt shit. Look it up. Yorba Linda, California. Inglewood was way down the list. Compton was way down the list. South Central LA was way down the list. See these cliches that we just repeat, all they do is hurt us. We hurt ourselves with this because it makes us feel as if we have some special problem that only us deal with. When we're in a nation with all of these people dealing with these problems. But black folks will make the cliche about us and then go into some self-hating shit. You know? We got to stop these cliches. They do nothing but make us feel bad about ourselves, and they don't do anything to solve the problems that we have. What's up, Mickey Knox? What's up, Deep Impressions? Subscribe now. Oh, and while we're here, remember next week. I appreciate that, Melanated Brown. Let me tell you, remember next week, I'm having my webinar, No Time to Waste, the Self-Motivation Guidebook, my book. My webinar is coming out next week. Hit my link tree to join in. I will be premiering my book, No Time to Waste, a self-motivation guidebook on how to get off your ass today. I'm going to really break that down, and we're going to interact, and we're going to talk game. I don't talk about it, I be about it. We about solutions up in this bitch. You feel me? Solutions. And also, check out my new merchandise on my website. Reparations now. I got the money fist. I got the arrow. And we also got the snapback caps on the website right now. They trying to change the conversation to stop Asian hate. They trying to change the conversation to LGBTQ. No, we stand focused, nigga. Reparations now. Get your snapback. Get your t-shirt. Get it. Get it. Let me see. I was going to show y'all something. Let me see here. Here we go. Here it is. I found the article that quick. Oh, let me. Here we go. Let me share my screen. Look at this. While they telling you black people's problem is we buy too many Jordans, another stupid ass one I'm about to get into. The whole Jordans argument. While we saying that we don't do our, black people don't, look, I don't begrudge black people who barely make a few dollars to spend what little they got on a good time. We humans. Human beings need to release. I recommend, cats take budget classes like my man Malcolm Hall. Y'all know him. He has a debt class that he has where he teaches you how to manage your debt and still go on vacation for free. Because this nigga Malcolm showed me a receipt once. This nigga went to Costa Rica for literally $200. I don't know how the fuck he did it. But my man Malcolm Hall, look back on some of the videos I've done with him. He can teach you how to travel this country for pennies on the dollar. So I recommend stuff like that. But in the meantime, I don't begrudge black people who want to use the little bit they got to feel a little bit good. That's the way. That's the American way. Literally. Look at the cities with the highest personal loan debt. Yorba Linda, that's Asian and white. Santa Clarita is white. Temecula is white. Yorba Linda also leads the state in car debt. Look at this. These 3 cities are Asian or white or mixed. So tell me who's the biggest flossers on earth. What's up, William Terry? Triple C, yeah, I could fit in the Lamborghini. I was in the Lamborghini and your mama fit giving me head while I was driving 69 on a 101. I fit and so did your mama's jaws. Back to the story. If black people are the ones that floss the most, why is it your Belinda has the highest car debt? Car debt is when it comes to flossing, that's where the rubber meets the road. That cliche. But if you want to talk about flossing, usually the car. People floss most with their cars because you can't drive your house to work and you can't drive your house to your friend to the club, but you can drive your car. So yeah, this right here is proof what I was saying. We got to stop these cliches, man. We got to stop these cliches because these cliches just make us feel bad about ourselves. And feeling bad about yourself, there's no reason to just walk around feeling bad about yourself. We got a lot of shit we do need to fix within black society. It's a lot of shit we do need to fix. And we need to go about fixing those things. But how can we go about fixing these things if we don't analyze how we see ourselves and the statements we make about ourselves? This show isn't compiling on one. I'm not sitting here acting like I'm just fucking oracle. I'm just here to question things that we do that need to change. Another cliche. People be like, this cliche hit hard when the stimulus money was getting thrown out. Remember when the stimulus money was getting thrown out? What was niggas saying? Man, black folks need to just go ahead and start an LLC with that money. If we just start an LLC. Look, man. Look. If a person don't already have an idea for a business and a plan on executing the idea for the business, why the fuck would they spend money on creating an LLC? The LLC is what you do after you said, okay, my business is going to be cleaning carpets. I've thought about it. I feel it in my spirit. I feel it in my soul. So yes, I'm going to open up a carpet cleaning business. And then, you're already at a job. Okay, how am I going to execute the plan? Okay, I'm going to clean carpets on weekends. Since I work all day, I'm gonna clean carpets on Saturdays, and then when I start making enough money doing that, I'm gonna get a schedule at my job to where I can maybe clean carpets again once or twice a week, and then in maybe a year or two, I can maybe go full time into cleaning carpets. Once you got to that point, now it's time to go ahead and open up your LLC, name your LLC, and get to business. But if you're going to work every day and you don't know, so it's not even in some people's minds to open up a business. You don't know what you want to do. You have no direction in where you're going. Then why the fuck would you open up an LLC? First comes the plan. Then comes the LLC. People will just go around judging folks. See, if they just took that $1,400 stimulus and opened up an LLC, it would have been a waste of fucking money. Because they don't even know what they want to do with that LLC, nigga. Stop repeating dumb shit. Now with my book, no time to waste. I help people find their gifts that'll then lead to you opening up an LLC if you choose. I actually know how to help people find their gifts because I use the same fucking method I used on myself and been using with children and families since 2009. That information is in my book, How to Look Within and Find Something Within that you can develop into a skill that'll ultimately pay you for the skill that you developed that came from within. See, that's why I don't like the fucking cliche open up an LLC, because I know what comes first. And I also know how to help people get that. But if you don't have that gift from within that you're looking to express outwardly, you don't need no fucking LLC. Okay? Another cliches. If black folks stop buying Jordans, see, man, because of Jordans, black folks, we killing each other over Jordans. No, stop that. Stop the whole Jordans argument. A pair of sneakers ain't stopped an inch of progress. Black people have always been fly. That would be like in the 1920s, niggas saying, man, it's because of them zoot suits niggas is buying. This is the reason why. Is this the reason why Black Wall Street was burned down? If black people weren't buying zoot suits, Black Wall Street would have never been burned down. That's how dumb you niggas sound when you talk about Jordans. While black people were crying and complaining about the youth and young black people using and wearing Jordans, while they were complaining about that, Asians, white people, and other groups saw what we was wearing on our feet and started opening up boutique shoe stores, and now these motherfuckers is making millions of dollars off our culture. That tired ass cliche making young people feel guilty for wearing Jordans has done more harm to black people than black people buying Jordans. I said it. I said it. Black adults running around judging the youth for wearing their Jordans, criticizing the Jordans, talking shit about the Jordans, has done more to harm black people than black people actually buying the Jordans. Dwan, how can you say that? The shoe industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Somebody asked me how many pairs I got. Put it like this. DwannBrown got like 9 pair of Jordans that I did not pay for. I told y'all I'm that nigga. Y'all don't be knowing. Most of my Jordans, I only pay. I got these newest Jordans, the ones that just came out. I paid for those. The other 9 pair of Jordans I got were given to me. And I didn't get my first pair of Jordans until I was 30. So this ain't me speaking as someone who grew up on Jordans. My parents didn't give me Jordans growing up. My parents didn't criticize Jordans either. My parents just said, hey, look, we ain't got the money, you dig? Do you want to live in a house and get some regular shoes? Or do you want to go live in an apartment and have a pair of Jordans? That was the ultimatum my parents gave me. I was like, shit, I like this backyard. Fuck a pair of Jordans. So I'm not speaking from my perspective. I'm speaking from a perspective of looking at analyzing the last 30 years and an opportunity missed within black society. Somebody say, are the Jordans made in the USA? Nigga, your computer ain't made in the USA. Is your computer made in the USA? Did you ask that? Is your mouse made in the USA? Are your shoestrings made in the USA? Ask that. Is your phone made in the USA? The whole black people demonizing Jordans was an opportunity lost. It was an opportunity lost because black youth set the culture for the world. If black people said, okay, it seems as if we can't get our youth off this Jordan thing, that's fine. So what if we teach our youth, well, for every pair of Jordans that you buy, put an equivalent or half that amount in stock for Nike. Own some Jordans and own some ownership in Jordans. Now you're teaching the children business. I'm not saying this from the point of view who's saying, hey, look, I'm saying this as a nigga who's actually done this. I'm saying this as someone who has, over the last 12 years, trained parents in my communication sessions on how to do this. You can't fight nature. You can't fight the tide. All you can do is lean in and go with it. All you can do is go with it. Anything that seems negative, there's always something you can flip it with. So yes, you're speaking to someone who's done this with children as young as 12 years old. And it's even easier now because you have Cash App. And you can invest money directly into Nike through your Cash App. Did you know that? How about, what if black people said, okay, it seems as if this is what the youth are doing, and there being a few black adult entrepreneur business people who decided to open up boutique sneaker shops. We'd still own and control an industry we created. We'd have leverage over them because we'd have the blueprint on how to sell these shoes. But no, you have Asians and white people. I walk up and down Melrose all day here in Hollywood, and I see Asians and white people owning industry that black people created. Not only were the industry that black people created, these were specific industries that the black adults shitted on the youth for creating. Shooting ourselves in the foot on some high and mighty cliche bullshit. Niggas want to know where Jordans is made, but don't question where your tax dollars go. Ass backwards. My thing is this: if you're gonna be analytical like that, I don't mind people being analytical, but be analytical with everybody. Don't just start turning into a Poindexter and analyzing it when it's a black thing. Be like that with everybody. Black people have always dressed in opulence. Why should we begrudge the children of this? Go with it. Like, I'm all in studying a lot of these NFTs right now, because when I personally study, when I study these alternative incomes, these alternative dollars, these Bitcoin, and I'm drawing a blank, Ethereum and NFTs and all that stuff, you better believe I'm looking at what the black youth are doing and put my money behind that. I don't spend 1 second shitting on whatever trends black youth are setting. I position my money behind the things that they're into. Roblox went public. Nigga, I got money in Roblox. I'm not gonna criticize them. Man, let Fortnite go public. Nigga, I'm all on it. You got all they do is play Fortnite. They got their face stuck in Fortnite. Well, put some money in it then. Shit. Cliches harm us more than they help us. Another cliche, the whole private prison thing. Man, Michael Jordan invests in private prisons. First of all, that's not the Michael Jordan that's on the shoe. That's a white dude. That's some white dude. We've heard about. Y'all got, if y'all still saying that, no, that's not the Michael Jordan basketball player that's investing in prisons. Second of all, private prisons make up less than 9% of prisons. The whole private prison argument is a red herring. What's a red herring? It's a distraction, something people create to make it seem, to distract you from what's really going on. The most prisons are state prisons, local municipal prisons, shit being paid for by your tax dollars. The private prisons are less than 9% of all prisons. They can close every private prison today, and that wouldn't do a thing to stop the prison industrial complex, because most prisons and jails are state and local, federally funded. Again, what's up, Dozier Green? Appreciate it. Again, when we repeat cliches, we don't get to understanding. If we just go with, we need to end private prisons. All right, what about the other 92%? Question, when you were in school, if you got only 8% of your questions wrong, what was your grade? If you got 92% of the questions asked on your test in school right and 8% wrong, what was your grade? Your grade was still an A. You can get 8% of your questions wrong and still have an A in school. So if the United States got rid of 8% of its prisons, it would still have an A in prisons and the world's highest prison population. That's why you never hear me talking about private prisons. Private prisons aren't the problem. Prison is the problem. Private, federal, state, local. The problem is the prison industrial complex and the fact that every dollar taken away from school goes to fund a prison. That's the problem, not private prisons. The problem isn't private prisons. The problem is the prison industrial complex. But what they'll do is they'll throw a cliche out there and everybody's going to run with it. And while you're running with these cliches, you're doing nothing to solve the problem. I don't give a fuck about I don't give a damn if prison's private, public. My problem is, why are people who went in for a drug habit enslaved for the next 10 to 15 years instead of rehabbed? Another cliche I'm tired of. When niggas be like, man, I'm from the hood, you can't. Can we stop this whole I'm from the hood shit? Look, every black person from the hood. You have very few black people in America that weren't from the hood. Very few. The hood is a condition black people were thrown in. It's not who we are. The hood is a place that when black people migrated from the South into major cities, the hood is a community, an area that black people were redlined into. And when red line ended, black people were forced to stay in through property values and loan amounts. I used to work in loans. I know how this worked. The black neighborhood, the price range of houses. I remember when I was in mortgage from in the early 2000s, back when, right now shit getting gentrified to high hell. But back before gentrification, when they still were herding black people into South Central and in Inglewood, you would get a black person who their income says they can afford a home that's $600,000, $650 and above. But if they get that loan amount of $650 and above, now they have the option of moving into Culver City. And mind, these are old prices. Shit's way more expensive now. I'm giving you prices like as of 2004. $650 and above, they can move into Westchester, Culver City. They can pick their neighborhood. But if that loan amount is under $500,000, they gotta stay in South Central or Inglewood. So yes, on one hand, redlining is over. And now you're getting, because of the last name, they know what color you are, your loan amounts are getting you kept in a certain box. Either that, so you can stay in the hood in Inglewood, or as a black person, you can move way out to Palmdale or way out to the Moreno Valley or some shit like that. So hoods are conditions that were placed upon black people. You're not unique when you say I'm from the hood. That's like saying, nigga, I breathe oxygen. Okay. The only like my wife is like one of the only truly non-hood people that I knew. My wife, but she was again from a black neighborhood, Ladera Heights. She didn't really see struggle at all. She thought she would see shit happen on the news, be like, damn, that's crazy. Me and her had way different experiences. I grew up down the hill in the hood. We be having some dope ass conversations on our different perspectives. But she's one of the rare people I know that don't really have hood experiences that still live in black neighborhoods. Mostly everybody else I know have hood experiences. So you saying I'm from the south side of this city or the east side of that city or the west side of this city, nigga, you grew up in the same shit I saw, different climate. Same shit I saw, different climate. That shouldn't define us as a people. Being from the hood, not being from the hood. If you black in America, you've been dealing with bullshit your whole life. No matter where you're from. Hell, I be feeling bad for a lot of these black. One of my comic friends, Batman. I remember I talked to him about growing up in Orange County around rich white folks. The black people that grew up in white neighborhoods, they got a whole nother set of problems. Those of us who grew up in black neighborhoods can't begin to understand. The black people who grew up in these other places, the trauma that they went through in elementary school and middle school, being the only black kid in class, they have an experience too. If you black in America, you got an experience. All this saying, I'm from the hood, you not? So get over it. Get over yourself. That's ego. American Negro say I used to go to Windsor Hills and trick or treat in the crowd. Oh, you them niggas that I made sure I locked my doors from. Nah, I'm just playing, because like when I grew up in the Crenshaw district, but when I was in high school, we moved up to Windsor Hills. So I had both experiences. I had the experience of being black in the hood, Slauson and Broadway, South Central, to moving up the hill to Windsor Hills, where still, well, white folks are moving in now, but my whole life, 95% black, but the black folks had money. And my wife was in, Ladera, where black folks had money. Didn't deal with the same shit. Of course, we locked our doors because all of us were still from the hood at some point, so we did lock our doors. But we didn't deal with all that hating and shit. We didn't deal with people doing a whole bunch of nigga shit around us. No, it was very dope. Growing up in View Park, Windsor Hills is very dope. It was super dope. Very relaxed. Very relaxed. But having both experiences and moving at such a crucial time in high school from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill, I was able to see that even though we at the top of the hill now, and shit, I don't necessarily, because growing up in the Crenshaw district, I used to hear them Tech Nines all the goddamn time. I don't hear these Tech Nines anymore, but we still dealing with racism just on a different level. Because a lot of the black folks that lived in Ladera Heights and View Park, they really had enough money to move to Brentwood, Manhattan Beach, Santa Monica, Lower Beverly Hills. They just chose to stay in Ladera Heights and Windsor Hills because they worked around these white folks, these sick white folks all day, and they refused to live around them. Yeah, a lot of black people like in View Park that these niggas definitely made Beverly Hills money. But it was like, nah, I'd rather stay here. Somebody said most suburb people are real weak. No, they're not. The toughest nigga to ever play basketball was Kobe Bryant, and that nigga was rich his whole life. He was more mentally strong than all them other niggas he played against. That's what made Kobe so great. T-Mac may have had more skill, but Kobe was more mentally strong. Let's stop that. That's another cliche we need to get rid of. People that ain't from the hood are soft. No, the fuck they ain't. You know what I mean? You know how many niggas from Compton I know that get their ass whooped by a nigga from Ladera Heights or a nigga from the Valley? Black people from the suburbs, they just have a different approach. They have to come off as more passive. You got to realize the oppression that they're under. If they come off, if you're born and raised in the suburbs in mostly white neighborhoods, you know by the time you get to elementary school that you can't let it hang. You got to back off a little bit. You got to raise your voice a little bit. You got to be a little more non-threatening. Just because someone's acting non-threatening on top, don't mean they won't beat your ass. That's just a way that they've had to act in order to adapt to their environment. See, in a black neighborhood, you got a certain walk, you got a certain talk, you got a certain swag. We can let it hang in a black neighborhood because black men, for the most part, aren't intimidated by other black men. Now, you do got some weak ass niggas that are out there, but for the most part, black men aren't intimidated by other black men. So you can move, walk, and talk more natural in the all black hood environment. When you're from the suburbs, you can't necessarily walk and talk that way because you can't hang out at your friend Adam's house. I want to hang out with Adam like, nah, don't bring Devontae over here. You're a little too threatening. So Devontae got to learn real fast how to adapt his body language to fit within his community. That doesn't mean he's soft. That means that's a survival technique. That means he's adapting his behavior and his body language to his environment. Some of the biggest coons I know are from the hood. some of the biggest coons I know. We need to do better. Hell, want to talk about some cooning? Your average hood rat, male or female. Those are some fucking coons. That's weak. You'd rather act all hard, big, bad, and tough to another black person, but the minute a white person come around, they all nice. These hood motherfuckers know how to act right when they go to work. These hood chicks, they don't turn up on a boss like that, but they'll turn up on a man like that from his own neighborhood. A man trying to break up a fight. You don't know me. I'm nothing. Nigga, that's weak. That's weak. Turn up on another black person, quick, fast, in a hurry. White person do the same thing, back down. It's the hood motherfuckers putting money in all these Asian salons and shops, weave shops, because they don't like the hair that grew up out their head. They created a whole industry for Asians to capitalize off us because they don't like themselves. We need to stop acting like motherfuckers from the hood are just morally superior and better than those who ain't from the hood. Your neighborhood you grew up in dictates how you behave. Everyone has to adapt to their environment. We're animals. Humans are animals. We're the most adaptive animals on the planet. Leopards adapt to their environment with their spots blending in to the environments that they're in. Some lizards can change colors. Some frogs can change sounds, whether they're underwater or out of water. Humans adapt to their social environment. It doesn't mean because one adapted this way, he's any less tough than the other who had to adapt that way. Fuck that tired ass cliche. I'm from the hood. That don't mean shit, nigga. And you heard it from me first. That don't impress me. 90% of us are from the hood. Just because somebody's parents found a way to move to a white neighborhood don't make them any less than you. That just makes them someone who had to go through different experiences than you. Another one we need to get rid of. Vote blue no matter who. This ain't necessarily for this chat room. Y'all know better. But these motherfuckers that just want to stick to, you got to vote blue no matter who. Some go on in the hood. You got to get back and vote now. Another black person gets shot. Well, if he just voted, this wouldn't have happened. Black people, the only people that don't vote. Look, let me tell you something. Black people, percentage-wise, vote at a similar, slightly higher rate than any other group in America. Most of America don't vote. But when it comes down to voting, black people are right there in the mix with other groups. Asians don't vote now. They just gotta, somehow, with them being the lowest turnout in voting, they somehow got an anti-Asian bill signed specifically from them, for them, from Joe Biden. So what does that tell you, cliche preachers who like to just say our solutions lie within voting? What does that tell you? I'm not against voting, but I'm against the use of it as a cliche to fix our problems. You're right. They don't ask us who we vote for before they shoot. need to get rid of that cliche. Let's just get a Democrat in office and everything will be good. Another cliche. We just need to come together. I don't even know if I said that one yet. But I want to go back to it if I did. Come together and do what? Needy Fuller says it best. We already together on the bottom of a slave ship. Come together and do what? Salute Derek Bailey. Come together and do what? Barbecue? Go to church? Black people, shit. Nigga, how long have black people been coming together every Sunday morning in church? Martin Luther King said it. The most segregated hour in America is Sunday morning. You got millions of black folks together. But doing what? I agree, Tiffany. It's mad disrespectful what they're doing to us with that anti-Asian shit. I used to go to Essence Fest all the time. Shit, you want to see some black folks come together, go to Essence Fest. Back in the days, Frankie Beverly and Mays used to close out the show. Black folks is together doing the electric slide to Before I Let Go. 60,000 black folks in the New Orleans Superdome. Black folks, we always together. Here in LA, the jazz festivals. Tens of thousands of black folks together. Stop that dumbass cliche. Stop that. We need to get on code with one another. And what is on code? First, you got to get on code with yourself. You put your self-interest first. We all understand code. You understand when you go to work, you behave differently than you behave at home. You understand that when you're around your best friend, you talk differently than when you do around your grandmother. You listen to different music around a chick you about to smash than you do, you know, your homeboy. And I'm not going to listen to Maxwell in a car with another nigga. That's cold. If I'm in the car with a nigga, we about to listen to some Method and Redman and some Snoop, some Kendrick, some something. I'm not about to listen to Embria Submerge into the Night with another dude in the car with me. That's off code behavior. We all understand code. A black first code is first putting yourself first. Secondly, putting the interests of your group ahead of the interests of outside groups. Oh, that's a good one. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I didn't have that one written down. Thank you for saying that one. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Do you know that cliche was actually, do you know it's literally impossible to pull yourself up by your bootstraps? Take a look at a picture of boots and bootstraps. If you grab a bootstrap and these boots are on, it's literally impossible to stand up while holding on to bootstraps. You cannot pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Either your back is gonna break or the straps are gonna break, but neither of them, but it's not gonna happen at the same time. You can't pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what you have to do if you want to pull yourself up? Let the bootstraps go. That's how you pull yourself up. You can't pull yourself up if you're holding on to what's around your ankles. In other words, in order for you to stand up, let go of that shit that's holding you down. That's how you stand up, by letting go. You can't pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You have to let go. That's why when people come over here in my chat room, you'll see them talking about other people and why don't black people do this? I don't deal with it. I don't waste my time with petty, low-level nonsense, because I can't. If I'm constantly dealing with the black people who don't want to move forward, if I'm constantly dealing with the black people who are always down on other black people, how can I ever stand up if I'm always bending down to dust my shoes off? No, you have to let the bootstraps go in order to pull yourself up. That's another one, Jordan Henley. Y'all funny here in the chat room. What are you doing to help the black community? Oh, I hate that cliche. Because the only time you hear that cliche is from someone who's not doing shit to help the black community. Let me tell you why that is. Because those people who are out there spending their time doing things to help the black community don't have time to ask you what you're doing. Because you're so busy doing it yourself, you see the other ones that are out there doing what they do. You don't have to ask because you see the work. The only people who have to ask are those who don't see the work. Those who don't see the work aren't putting themselves in the environment to see the work being done. Because if you ask them what they doing, what's their answer going to be 99% of the time? Well, I got a good job and my kids are doing good. Okay. So you're asking me what am I doing to help 40 million people, while basically when I ask you what you're doing, you're talking about what you're doing for yourself and your two dusty ass kids. What are you doing to help the community, the black community? I'll tell you what your mama's doing to help the black community. She's swallowing most of her kids. That's what she's doing to help the black community, so she don't have more like you. That's what your mama's doing to help the black community. She spends more time swallowing kids than she does making them. That's what your mom's doing. Dumbass cliches that don't do nothing to help. They just empty fucking words. Oh man, I need to get back in the church. That's another one. People use going to church as if that means they're doing, like, their life is changing and improved in their life. You know how many tired motherfuckers that be up in church? I'm not against church, but if you're going to church, make sure your church environment is helping you grow. The point ain't going to church. The point is growing as an individual. And if church is the means you're using to grow, that means you probably don't have time to be talking shit about other people who ain't in church. They need to go to church. Church? No. What you're really saying is you need to grow. Church isn't the only environment that you grow in. You can grow in church if you use it right. But most of the people saying that shit, only reason why you going to church is so you can judge people who ain't going to church. Let's tell the truth. You right, go just pray about it. Some of you, I don't want some of these motherfuckers in church praying for me. Nigga, you ever think about so many people that say go to church and just pray about it? Mind you, on this Sunday service, thank you. Oh shit, I got a couple cash apps. Thank you, Dexter, for the cash app. I appreciate that on this Sunday morning. Melissa, thank you for the cash app. Y'all been hitting the cash app. That's what's up. And sign up for my webinar next Sunday. No time to waste. Next Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On my new book, my self-motivation guidebook. And also remember, where is it? Remember this, man. Look, I got my new t-shirts and my new snapbacks. Reparations now. Get your t-shirts, hotepish.com/apparel. But these cliches, just go to church and pray about it. You ever look at the condition of some of the people telling you they gonna pray? Look, no disrespect, Sister Alma, but 2 of your boys is in and out of jail. Your daughter done had a handful of abortions by the time she was 18. You always, and you the lady that's over the prayer department. And this church has less members than it did 5 years ago. I don't know if I want, no disrespect, Sister Alma, you a nice lady, but I don't know if I want you praying for me. No disrespect. But it seems like the Bible says the prayers of the righteous availeth much. Your prayers ain't availing. Either you ain't righteous or the shit ain't availing. But nigga, something about your communication with God need to get fixed. I'm doing bad now, but shit, if you pray for me, I might be doing bad and get evicted. Because I remember that time you were praying that you wouldn't get evicted. And you still got evicted. I don't know if I want you praying for me. Another cliche I hate. I appreciate that, Star. Another cliche I hate that I can't stand. I'm blessed and highly favored. Nigga, how is everybody highly favored in this church? You mean tell me ain't nobody medium favored? Nigga, ain't nobody low-key favored? How you gonna be blessed and highly favored and you caught the bus to church this morning? It seems as if you kind of low on you blessed because you woke up this morning. But you seem to be kind of low on the favor scale. Sister Tubman came to church today in the Mercedes E-Class. She's highly favored. You came to church in the youth van. You were stop number 7 of 8 because you don't have a car. Now, I'm not shitting on you for not having a car, but are you really that highly favored? Or are you blessed and kind of favored? Blessed and high. And nigga, if that's high favor, what the fuck is no favor? You ever ask that? You ever look at the condition of some of the people in church? And it's like, nigga, if you highly favored, what the fuck is little favor, let alone no favor? Chill on these cliches. Blessed and highly favored. You blessed because God woke you up this morning. But you live between two crack houses. And you said God gave you that house. You mean to tell me God bless you to rent out a house between two crack houses? Damn. God must have been on a bad day. God must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed that morning if that's how he blessed you. You mean to tell me he blessed you to rent out a house between two houses that get raided every 6 months with flashbangs? And drive-bys all in between? That was your favor? God damn, do not pray for me. Sister Abernathy. No, please. No. I will, no. Hey, Brother Johnson, yeah, you with the, yeah. You in the brand new Cadillac. Brother Johnson, yeah, you pray for me. Brother Johnson with the new Cadillac that live in a good neighborhood. Yeah, I want Brother Johnson's prayers. Come on over here, brother. Give me some of that holy water and give me a prayer. I want your prayer. I don't want a prayer from Sister Deacons. I don't want her prayer. Her prayer gonna have me with kids that's in and out of jail, living between two crack houses, catching a bus to church. Turn the other cheek. Only cheek I'm turning is for somebody to kiss my ass. That's the only cheek I'm turning. Yeah, turn the other cheek. No. Ain't no cheek turning in here. Unless I'm turning my cheek for you to kiss my ass after I whooped your ass. That's the only cheek I'm turning. You fuck with me, you go overboard with me. Oh yeah, I'll turn the other cheek. Put your lips out. Shit. But yeah, the whole point of this discussion is to solve the problem. We do have problems that we need to solve. But when we're looking at our problems, we have to, one, understand that our problems are not unique to us. Now, the level of racism that we receive relative to other groups, that's unique. But the reason why other groups aren't going to help is because just because they're not dealing with our level of trauma, they're still dealing with their own levels of trauma. It's the reason why the United States is pumped full of drugs. Everybody in this country getting high on some methamphetamines and opioids. Because everybody got problems. And when people got problems, they're not necessarily going to be quick to help you with your problems. So we have to know that our problems are not unique to us, one. Two, nobody's coming to help us from our problems. Three, the solution to our problems lies within our focus on these problems, not in repeating a cliche on what the problem is. Just repeating over and over and over and over and over and over again cliches that address our problems, that doesn't do anything to solve said problem. So, if you're the kind of person that think black folks can't ever do anything right without a problem happening, that means you probably need to change your circle of black people you're around. Because let me break it to you. Every group has an underbelly, a group that ain't quite getting it right, and they got a group of people who just want to live and let live, and they got groups who are excelling within every culture, Within every culture, subgroup, these dynamics exist. Good and bad exists in everybody. So if your environment is dysfunctional, the first thing you need to do is check the dysfunction within yourself. And I'm not one to judge black people who are dysfunctional. That's why I don't spend too much time talking about and down and hood people like that, because I understand the source of their dysfunction. Now I keep them at a hand's distance. I don't let certain motherfuckers get too close, because some people are just dysfunctional people, and everywhere they go, they're going to bring dysfunction. I keep those people at bay, but I still understand and respect where it comes from. And if I keep my vibration high, those type dysfunctional people won't even have any common cause with me to even want to be around me. Your vibration level dictates the company that you attract. Let's get a little metaphysical here. Water meets its own level. So the first step in changing what's around you is changing what's within you. Because in the same hood, you got people hating on each other, shooting each other. Right down on that same street, you have people who are peaceful within. And they may hear the gunshots, but they're not affected by what's going on in the environment, because they're on a different frequency, a different vibration level. When you don't like the world around you, change the world in you. And then once that world in you is changed, look, certain places just have low vibrations. But when your vibration elevates, you'll have something within you that pushes you out of that environment to a new environment. It may be a change of job, an opportunity offered elsewhere, something inside of you that you've been wanting to do. Now you figured out how to do it. You get to doing it. Now you make enough money to live in an environment that's on a frequency that matches your internal frequency. Humans are like radios. A lot of the young niggas in here may not get it, but people who are older, over 35, know what I'm talking about. Them old digital, I'm not digital, the old analog radios before digital. Remember when you had to turn the frequency of the radio and you trying to get 92.3 to beat so you can listen to Theo here in LA? But if you're on 92.4, it's going to be staticky. If you're on 92.2, it's going to be staticky. It's going to be a weird static off environment. When your frequency is different than your environment, that's where static comes in. Your life is static. You feel the static. But when you raise your vibration and tune in to the right channel, now you hear the music clearly. Same radio. No different than the internet. If you want to get to a website, you type in the right words, the right letters, you get to that website. The same internet that gives you Pornhub also gives you Dr. Delbert Blair's lectures. The same internet that gives you Nazi and this Nazi shit and all this hating people and blowing people up will also give you information on how to grow your own plants. What frequency are you on? Change your frequency, change the world around you. You want to start feeling good about black people? You got to first start feeling good about yourself. A lot of us feel bad about ourselves and we don't even know it, because we've been programmed to feel bad about ourselves. These cliches have a lot to do with that programming. You got to take the time to deprogram yourself. Unlearn. Learn something new. Raise your vibration. And as you raise your vibration, you attract different levels of people around you on different vibrations. This is all shit that you got the power to control. But you got to first own it and be real with yourself first. And then from being real with yourself, be real with the environment around you. I remember I went through a period about 10 years ago, 2009, 2008. I attracted a few hoe-ass niggas in my environment. We were very cool at that time. But then at some point, I stopped hanging out. I remember those friendships didn't last long. They lasted for a good little short while. Then they stopped to exist. And they ceased to exist because I remember when them hoe-ass motherfuckers I was around had done some shady shit. It was like 2 or 3 people in a row had done some shady shit. And I was like, what inside of me attracted friendships with these shady individuals? And then I got to see through asking that question where I wasn't being real with myself. And I was on some fake shit with myself. And through being on some fake shit with myself, I attracted some fake motherfuckers in my environment who at the time we became really cool. Instead of sitting around and festering on how shady these people were and how things didn't do this and things did that, what I did was I said, hold on, I got to change my frequency. I got to get back to being 100 with me. And when I got back to being 100 with me, I got back in contact. Well, I never lost contact, but I got back to hanging out with some of my older, longer standing friends who were around before I lost my way. And I found new friends and new people to be around who were 100 people. But I didn't attract 100 friends until I got back to being 100 with myself. We all go through low points in our lives. We all do. Where we kind of not ourselves for a little bit. And when we in that's when we find some of the worst things that happen to us. The key is to fix yourself and not so much be hung up on the person who did it to you. People do things to you to teach you about yourself. That's not what they're doing consciously. They're just being the asshole, degenerate dickhead that they are. But if you can get past the emotion and get into who you are and yourself and find out what inside of you attracted that degeneracy into your world, you can then fix it and move on. But you'll never be able to fix it and move on if you're just repeating a cliche. With everybody, it's a whole bunch of bad. It's just haters all around me. If you just keep saying, if you keep running into degeneracy, and your answer is, well, everybody just hating, man. People hate all around you, man. People don't like, man. People rather see you fail than win. Man, my friends don't support me the way I think I should be supported. If you just saying these bullshit ass cliches, then you ain't gonna never grow. You ain't gonna ever find out the lesson that hardship you went through was there to teach you. Because when we go through hardships, those hardships are moments of clarity to teach us. But you never get the lesson if you're stuck in the cliche. People just hate, man. Man, I'm telling you, man, black people, we do it to ourselves. Man, ain't nobody gonna pull you down faster than another black person. If you stay in that, I promise, you will continue to attract that. But the problem ain't black people. The problem is you. You attracting black people on your frequency. Water meets its own level. Since that's your frequency, you're going to continue to attract people black on that frequency. Why black? We live in the segregated country. For the most part, other people don't kick it with other people, even though we all know some people from other races. Black people kick it with black people, Asians kick it with Asians. Like, what about black on black crime? That fucking cliche. Because you live together, nigga, that's why. People commit crimes where they live. But if you stuck on some woe is me bullshit, you gonna see that and you gonna take it in as if it has something to do with you. Change your frequency. Raise your frequency. Even with dealing with white supremacy, I gotta check myself with this sometimes. Like, when you too stuck in the frequency of white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, you forget that you're an interstellar being. That regardless of what system is being run on this earth, you can always elevate above it and find others and attract others who've elevated above it. It's black people winning in this white supremacist system every day. Every day you wake up, I promise you, there are black people who are winning. Who, although this system may put up barriers in front of them because they're in tune with their own self and their spirit, they whoop-de-whamp around them barriers like on Mario Brothers. They're called barriers, not stoppers. We have barriers in our way. Barriers can be manipulated. You can move a barrier. You can jump over a barrier. You can go around a barrier. You can create formulas for barriers to crumble on themselves. But you're not going to get to that frequency if you're always focused on the barrier. And what's wrong? You got to elevate above that. Yeah, another one. We just crabs in the barrel. Nigga, do you know the crab that's pulling you down he's not necessarily trying to pull you down. He's the crab that looks like it's gotten to the top. The crabs below it, they're not trying to necessarily pull the other crab down. They're trying to grab onto his leg to get out that boiling water too. I don't judge the crabs in the barrel. I ask the question, why the fuck are these crabs in the barrel and not in the ocean where they belong? That's where I go. I don't judge the crabs for being in a barrel of boiling water. If you're in a barrel of boiling water, you're going to do what you do. I ask, who put those crabs in the boiling water? Who turned the fire on? Who took those crabs out of their natural environment and put them there? Because when crabs are in their natural environment, if there's a piece of dead meat on a rock that's 2 or 3 feet above, the crabs stack on top of one another. Eat a piece of meat, and then when that one's had their fill, they go to the bottom and push up the other crab so the next crab can get a piece of meat. Crabs in their normal environment don't do things to undermine other crabs. They only do that when they're taken out of their natural environment and thrown into a pot of boiling water. So while people run around talking something, oh man, we just crabs in a barrel. If you keep saying we just crabs in a barrel, you're not focusing on who the fuck put you in that barrel and turned the water on. Again, stop the cliches. Cliches do nothing to fix. Another cliche. this is the one that really hurts black people. When black people like to talk about good things are coming. What's coming? What's coming? If you're always talking about how things were bad in the past and what's good is coming, you never open yourself up to the present moment of joy and beauty. Sometimes if you just want to experience beauty in life, if you want to stop stressing, come into the present. We spend a lot of time thinking about what bills we have coming up, what's due. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I don't want to see this person. I don't want to smell that person. All thoughts of the past and the future. Sometimes you got to take a moment for yourself, turn off the news, and think about the beauty in life that you have now. There's somebody out there who loves you, who genuinely appreciates you. Do you ever take time to sit in the moment and think about all the love that you have in your life? Because you got love in your life. You do. Unfortunately, people spend so much time thinking about the person that hurt them, thinking about the person that hated on them. You may have had 2 incidents of somebody hating on you in the last year. And 5 incidents of people doing something right by you, smiling at you. Because as humans, we have something called a negativity bias. Look up that. Look up the term negativity bias. We have a negativity bias as human. Negativity bias basically talks about how when you experience something unpleasant, you're more likely to hold on to that unpleasant experience so you don't have to experience it again. So I'm not calling you crazy for always replaying these bad things. It's human. You have to consciously check yourself. You got to take time every day to appreciate the good in your life. Because if you go on autopilot, the negativity bias is going to be the dominant thought in your mind. And you're going to hold on to negative experiences, negative people, negative thought patterns. Because the negativity bias is a human trait. But that trait is there to not experience a bad thing again. You got to remember that you experience more good than bad every day of your life. But you have to consciously take time and think about that. Me personally, one of my personal tools, now you got to do it. Here's some help for you guys. You got to do it your own way. But here's how I do it. And if my way works for you, pick it up and keep trying it. And spread the information. Don't be selfish with it. When you learn something that works for you, pass it along to the next person. And everything that works for you ain't gonna work for everybody else. You gotta find what works for you. But if we develop a culture of passing along the good, if everyone's passing along the good things that work, at some point, each one teach one, we'll all find the good things that work. For me personally, when I roll up a joint to smoke, before I smoke, I really just sit back and reflect on the day. And I take that time to reflect on the good in life. I smoke some good fucking weed. I ain't about to waste my money on this good ass weed to be feeling depressed the whole time I'm smoking shit. My ceremony, my pattern, my rhythm is when I'm grinding my weed, listening to Al Green or whatever I'm listening to. I sit back and think about my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my wife. I think about the good things that happened to me throughout the day. I think about the fact that I have my own place. I don't have to have any roommates. I live in my favorite city. You have similar experiences. Your mother may be dead and gone, or you may not have the best relationship with your sister, but you have a friend that really looks out for you. You got a cousin that you get along with. You got a coworker that's always there for you when you need an ear to hear. You got a favorite TV show that you watch. You have a food that brings you fulfillment and joy. You have a song that lightens your mood in your day. Experience those things. And I tend to think about these things when I'm smoking my weed. It makes my high a lot better. I really think about the love of my life when I'm on a mushroom trip. Mushroom trip will have you feeling and experiencing all the joy in your life vividly. I am not a doctor, so I'm not telling you what to do or not to do. But I tell you right now, when I be on my mushroom trips, man, shit, I be feeling all kinds of love and joy internally. You got to do this shit, because if you don't consciously, actively do these things, the negativity bias is going to take over. Sativa or indica, depending on how I feel. I like them both. Yeah, get the class New Insight. Get my class on May 2nd. Get my class on May 2nd. No time to waste. Self-motivation guidebook. I'm breaking all this shit down in my class. How to get it done. How to get it done. A how-to guide. I don't just talk about it, I be about it. Hey, me too. Food opinion. Hell yeah, I cried laughing during my trips. I mean, you experience so much. Sometimes you experience so much internal beauty during a mushroom trips. All you can do is cry and laugh. Hell yeah, shroom trips healed a lot of my shit. But again, if you're one of those people who aren't grounded and you don't do too well with substances, then you might not need to take shrooms. You might need to find something different. But if you're a grounded person that want to know the real, I love them shrooms. You're right, K Green. Co-workers will stab you in the back. You got to watch what you tell your co-workers. But we've had good ones and we had bad ones. Like me personally, my last job, I had a couple co-workers I would confide in about certain shit, but you got to be wise when it comes to dealing with those co-workers. Yeah, them shroom trips be beautiful. Appreciate that, Eric Keys. This my Sunday morning service today is about love. Love from within. Love from within. Love yourself. Love your group. Love yourself to stop repeating cliches and get down to, like my grandmother said, get down to the nitty gritty. Appreciate the Cash App, David. I appreciate the Cash App. Get down to the nitty gritty. Get down to the truth. Get down to the truth. But you'll never get to the truth repeating tired ass cliches. Yeah, Wayne Peacock, you can't be smoking weed and stressing. The whole point of smoking weed is to chill. use that time to reflect on the good. And let me give you one more challenge. This is a free one. I'm gonna get more challenges like this on my webinar, but for 1 minute, time yourself. Just repeat everything good in your life for 1 minute. Everything that's fun, everything you enjoy. Here's how you do it. Do this and sustain it for 1 minute. I guarantee you're going to feel better. No matter what your state is, whether you're already feeling good and you want to feel even better, or you're feeling really depressed and you want to just feel okay. Do this. Talk for a minute on everything that's good, everything that you love, everything you like. Like for me, it would go like this. Basketball, swimming pools, laughing, comedy, jokes, Police Academy, the movie, Naked Gun, the movie. What's something else that makes you feel good? Goddamn ice cream without having a lactose incident. What else feels good to me? Sunny days, riding my bike. You know, that's how you do it. Do that for a minute. Just think of all things that are fun. The people who name the people who love you by name, the activity, the thing that makes you feel good. Do that for a minute. And watch yourself start feeling real fucking good. Whatever issues you've been dealing with, get present and do that for a minute every day and see if you don't have a great fucking day. That's one of my tips and tricks. Okay, Green said you can't smoke weed. Yeah, if you can't smoke weed, then can't smoke weed. If your job is that important, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep your word. I know people who can't smoke weed. Well, get high on yourself. If you can't smoke weed, hell, do they test for mushrooms? Guru, you always, mushrooms are nasty as hell. That's why I drink orange juice with them. Down that orange juice with them. Takes out all that bitter ass taste. I am not a doctor. I am not giving any medical advice. But yeah, that's my broadcast for today. Thank y'all for joining me. Remember my class, No Time to Waste? Get your tickets now. Get them now. It's limited availability. Over half are sold. Get them now. And also remember my new t-shirts, Reparations Now. Snapback and t-shirts. Men and women's sizes available. Get yours. My name is Dwan B. Remember this. There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. My name is Dwan B. I'm out.